Welcome back to the morning show here on Arise News. It's time now to review headlines of today's newspapers, and we are going to start with the newspaper of record this day on Saturday.
This day on Saturday. All right, we'll go straight into it. The lead story today, this day, says Tinubu urges support, prayers for brave soldiers defending Nigeria. And the riders calls for unity, sacrifice as Muslims celebrate Eid al-Kabir. Governors preach peace. Army, NAF chiefs boost troops morale. That's the lead for this day today. There are actually, just a few stories. And then there's a story just beside the first picture. Despite pushback, it says, Governor Eno finally defects to APC. So from Delta,
from Delta we've gone to
Akwa Ibom.
But it seems his own was not as smooth a ride.
Unlike Delta.
Where it seemed like
I think there's a gentleman that many people are saying, at least one person says, on principle, the commissioner for information.
Three, actually.
Oh, three?
I believe.
Cabinet commissioners?
Yeah, I believe 3 of his commissioners have not followed him to the APC.
And that's quite shocking.
Is it?
I don't know if I don't think I'm shocked too.
It is a little shocking, I would say. I mean, looking at the statements that they did put out as to their reason for not, it's just unusual. Maybe not shocking, but just unusual. But also, I don't think this came as such a surprise. So for reactions trailing his move or defection have been, many saw it coming. He's been on it from the moment he said.
Forever. I'm not so sure how smart it was to say that come with me or resign. I think that shouldn't have been a public thing. I will expect that you will at least have an ESCO session with them that next ESCO.
Can you remember when he had he went on TV to say that his commissioners left here before him? No, I'm not surprised they didn't. If they don't follow you to events, to follow you up and down, I'm not surprised they don't follow you to APC. He's had a lot of spars with his commissioners in the public space, which I don't know, it's unbecoming for a governor.
There was even an issue with Ms. Daughter that was eventually clarified.
Yes.
Has it been clarified?
Yes.
Well, they claim that there were some clarifications.
It's still brewing.
I don't think it is. And the lady, the daughter, is still,
we'll see.
Is still in his government.
Yes.
We'll see.
But issues like that, we'll see. 2 quick things on it. I thought it made sense to say, because of the issues in PDP, I don't think that staying in this party will serve a good purpose for me when I seek re-election. What if I get the ticket as I know that I will get it, and then it turns out that the faction of the party that approved my primary election is the wrong party, and then I fail. If that is the thing, and you think that you are popular, you've done well, why not consider a small party, for example?
Like the ADC?
Like any other party, for example. I'm just saying.
I'm just saying. Believe you even suggest.
But then when you're now saying that, we need to align with the center. Your predecessor, in whose government you served as a commissioner, didn't align with the center. Buhari was in APC, you were in PDP. So after 8 years, what has changed? Why do you need to desperately align with the center? You're one of the richest states in Nigeria, but it's a political season. We'll hear a lot more.
I do feel sorry for the APC Akwa Ibomites.
Well, I mean, when you listen to him these days, you hear more of a politician than a pastor. But again, it happens, doesn't it? So the window story, recapitalization bangs in race to scale CBN's hurdle. I think that's an important story that many people in the banking sector, are dealing with. Race towards December because of the recapitalization. And then tributes point as former CJN Uwais dies at 88. Some other people said 89, but I think maybe he will have been 89 if he
I think he would have been. I think it's a few months shy of his 89th birthday.
Okay. I mean, we discussed about him earlier in the program. God bless his soul. He did quite well for Nigeria, and I think that, like I said earlier, when integrity is attached to your name, I think that you won the biggest prize ever. So our condolences to his family. Shall we go to Saturday Telegraph or anybody else?
I think we can do Saturday Punch.
Saturday Punch,
yeah,
you have that?
I do have the Saturday
Okay, let's roll
Punch.
with it, yeah.
The major story: Hurricane Tinubu to sweep more states after Governor Eno's defection, which we know the president has no issues with. He had made it very, very clear that let's welcome them, let's bring them in. The broom is to sweep them in. So he has absolutely no issues with them whatsoever. And
Which state is next?
That's the big question.
Who will you put your money on?
I will put my money on where the head honcho likes to dance. I'm just saying.
And his son likes to sing.
Likes to
Wait,
sing.
well, I mean, he has made it clear that he's going nowhere, though. That he has no. That's not on his radar.
Who's
but
that?
again, how did you put it? The head honcho likes to dance and the son likes to sing. We'll leave it at that.
It says it's going nowhere.
He says it's going nowhere. Of course, Enugu, Plateau, Rivers, and Osun may join the ruling party. It goes on to say, President watches as Akpabio, 9 APC governors welcome back. Welcome, Eno, that is. Of course, you know, there's a little story there on His Excellency, the Honorable Minister of the Federal Capital Territory, just putting out a little, I believe, celebratory post on a project that was just completed. We also see that replicated, I believe, on the Telegraph and Independent, if I'm not mistaken, and that takes up the majority of the headline today. But also, Niger State is still in conversation. Flood victims' families holding bittersweet Salah celebration. Stop destroying church buildings. Deeper Life also tackles Lagos. I believe that's about it on Saturday Punch.
You know, the Punch story, the ad there that we're seeing from the Minister of FCT and the Minister of State for the FCT are different projects that the president is expected to commission over the next couple of weeks, including 2 bus terminals, a convention center, and a single, I think, service lane. The president of the most populous black nation in the world is expected to commission 2 bus terminals after commissioning a 5% completed highway. Exciting.
Exciting times. But I think it's interesting, the 4 stories that Kachi read, that is on the cover of Punch, Enugu, Plateau, Rivers, Osun may join ruling party. You know, we put our money on
You put your money on the data. I put my money on Rivers.
On Rivers?
I put my money on Rivers.
So the interesting thing is that if that happens, then we'll be back to, because with 23 state governors now, if you add a 4 to it, we'll be doing 27. Maybe they will wrap up at 28. That means that we'll be back to when Obasanjo left government in 2007 with 28 solid states for PDP. It looks like history is repeating itself. Kachi struggles with that aspect of, it's been done before.
Wait, see, here's what actually I really am concerned with. Does it mean that as of today, there's no person in APC that has plans to run for governor in the next governorship election cycle? Is that what because clearly it's seeming like this
because those who are coming in
are not trying to exactly they're not coming in to lead.
That's when we will see politics.
So I'm curious.
No, Katia, you know, I love that you bring that up because I also wonder this because the National Assembly, they have come out to say no automatic tickets, but we've had a lot of people who have cross-carpeted to the APC, you know, within the National Assembly, and so I'm like, are you going to get primaried out?
Exactly. I'm confused as to what. I just want to wait and see. I think that's, for me, it's not interesting yet, okay? At this point, I don't think any other defection would
Next
surprise
year will
me.
be far more interesting.
Let's see how
it's going to get, I think it's going to, there's going to be a lot of races there. Should we quickly do The Guardian, before we go? The Guardian, the main story there on The Guardian is that Tinubu urges prayers for troops and tasks Nigerians on unity and a sacrifice. That's on page 2. Under the picture there, it says, Khan felicitates with Muslims, seeks prayers for Mokwa flood victims. PDP urges national reflection, calls on APC to end waste and deceit. And the last story there is on Uwais and a phenomenal jurist, statesman, and says that the president mourns. Now, I think the big story there is that Tinubu urges prayers for troops, but I think Nigerians also urge for better accommodations for our troops, better food, better equipment,
Better welfare.
better welfare. We need our funding to get to our frontline troops.
Absolutely.
We don't need to just pray for them. We will pray for them, but we also need to support them with the right equipment and the right, living standards for our troops and their families.
Absolutely.
The officers on the front line will need everything to support them.
Every
and I hope that,
single
like
thing.
on a salad day like this, they're not just forgotten. You
Yes.
know, that's a way that you boost the morale of people.
Not just to encourage them
Yeah.
vocally,
Yeah.
because we clearly
Absolutely.
see how just vocal support has proven not very effective
Yeah.
in politics. I think other people also like action too,
Yeah.
so let's see some of that action.
Because
the
they are all on
president
social
was-
media, they see what,
Yes.
other people are
The
doing.
president
Exactly.
did visit, I think, a week or two ago,
but
and I think I think the chief of army staff has moved to Benue, I believe, recently.
That's what he
so
said.
That's what he said. but I do believe that, as you said, beyond prayers, beyond words, show up and support people who require
They
it.
need it. They need it. Do we have time
I think-
for another paper before we go to...
The Saturday Telegraph, perhaps.
Okay.
Do you have that?
Yeah, let's see if we've got Tribune or Daily Trust. No, it's Vanguard that I have here. And Telegraph.
Yeah, I
which
have
other one?
Vanguard as well. Daily
Yeah.
Monitor.
I was going to ask about all of the papers. I appreciate all of the papers are running with Mokwa flood victims and their stories, but we've heard that 1,200 communities are at risk of flooding in the upcoming months.
That's a huge one, isn't it?
It's a huge one.
Absolutely.
And I think the Benue state government is now also asking some people to evacuate.
That's very effective, and I'm glad that they're doing that. Otherwise, we will sit here and have to announce another very, very sad story.
Yeah.
But I also think even beyond asking people to evacuate, where are they evacuating to? Is another question that I would also think
It
we
is.
pay attention to. The people who have to evacuate, where they're heading out to,
It is.
and what's sustainability looking like for them over the next couple of months as well. Because we still have people who have already been displaced, who are still yet to find some level of semblance of a reality that they once knew. So these are issues. These are issues.
All right, those are issues. Okay, I think those are the papers that we were able to take on the morning show today, but we do have a piece of news, don't we? All right, well, let's end the morning show on a somber note with the news that High Life music legend Mike Ajaga has passed on at the age of 95. According to his eldest son, Ima Ajaga, who spoke with our correspondent, his father died on Friday night at Garrison Command Hospital, Enugu, following a protracted illness. Mike Ajaga will be remembered for his scintillating traditional storytelling ability, which he weaved into songs known as Akoko Negu, translated in English as stories in music. Before his death, the music maestro enjoyed premium social media bliss following a remake of one of his hit songs, Go Go Go, by comedian Brain Jotta, which was accompanied by a special dance step. Go 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 tells the story of how the proverbial tortoise gave out the elephant as a bride price to marry the king's daughter.
Di nke izizi abịa ejo, nke igbo abịa ejo, nke taa abịa ejo, nke na-abịa ejo. Di nke izizi abịa ejo, nke igbo abịa ejo, nke taa abịa ejo, nke na-abịa ejo. Nya chọkwa ụmụnne niile, nke taa abịa ejo, nke na-abịa ejo.
All right, Go Go Go, finally.
Did you do the dance?
Yeah, he did the dance, and he has moved on to ancestry. But I like the fact that at least he was celebrated
He was.
before he left.
got
Who
his
wasn't part
flowers
of
when
that
he was
challenge?
still here.
I wasn't, but I did watch it and I
dance.
did enjoy it.
You know.
I have to also give a big kudos to Brain Jotta because at the time he did this,
Yeah.
I think for some people they didn't really understand why, but for most people it was just refreshing to see him celebrated for this, this song that he released. And to be honest, a lot of people, I would say in the Gen Z world, could not relate to it, but they found a way to relate to it. So
And
that
I think
was
it
beautiful.
absolutely. I think it also speaks to the question of legacy.
Yes.
That song was recorded ages ago, and
Yes.
then just from nowhere, Brain Jotta put it up, and then it became a thing. And he made a few money from it before he left. I'm sure that he must have died a happy and fulfilled man.
Yeah.
God bless his soul. Our condolences to his family. All right, that brings us to the end of the morning show today. Thank you for watching and do stay safe. I'm Steve Ayorinde.
What a day. I'm Kachi Ofia from our entire team here in Lagos, Nigeria. Enjoy the rest of your morning and, of course, the rest of your day.
Well, I'm Adesuagiwa Sage. Thank you for joining us today. Goodbye.